2 weeks ago, we had Sean Hannity saying this.
What have we seen here? Violence, rape, arson, destruction of property, sex in public, masturbation in public, naked people, drugs, drug paraphernalia, anti-Americanism, anti-Semitism, anti-capitalism.
Okay, Sean, you forgot. You know what? No, you got them all. I'm sorry. You got them all.
It makes it sound better than it actually was.
Kennedy compound up in...
Yeah, it sounds like he's describing the Kennedy compound's Labor Day festivities.
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah, and he does make it sound more fun than it actually is.
Yes.
That's for sure.
It's not just people
fun.
standing around in the cold feeling miserable.
Right. Right. And then last week, Bill O'Reilly said this about the movement.
So the Occupy Wall Street movement is dead, finished as a legitimate political force in this country. And that's a good thing.
Okay, so, and Bill would know because he's never been part of a legitimate political force in his entire career.
Does he even go outside?
So here's this week. I think there's just like a tunnel from his house to the Fox studios.
Yeah, and then the Chivas is just kind of brought in magically like...
So here's Frank Luntz. Now, we all know who Frank Luntz is. Frank Luntz is the guy, he's the right-wing pollster, and what he's famous for is getting people to take words and use different words in their place. Like, for instance, he was the one who suggested that the Republicans don't refer to global warming as global warming, but they refer to it as climate change, right? He's all about that you don't think about the words, you feel about words. So if you change the word about what you're talking about, it will change the debate, and it does. Mm-hmm. And it does change the debate. So
and that's, by the way, that's called sophistry.
That's called sophistry,
and
yes.
back in Greece... They hated the sophists for this very reason.
Oh, really?
Because they obscured the truth.
Wow.
They despised them.
I don't know much about Greek history. I speak a little Greek, only 2 words. Ouch and relax.
Speaking of Sandusky, get back to that.
Okay, so here's Frank Luntz. It's very Orwellian what he does. He takes out any negative connotations from words and uses another word that doesn't have any negative connotations. Okay, so here's Frank Luntz talking about Occupy Wall Street. Now, we heard Sean Hannity, we heard Bill O'Reilly. Here's this past week of Frank Luntz talking about Occupy Wall Street.
I'm so scared of this anti-Wall Street effort. I'm frightened to death. Okay, they should occupy a job and take a bath. I get that joke. But man, they're having an impact on what the American people think of capitalism. And so I'm trying to get that word removed and replace it with either economic freedom or free market.
So,
capitalism removed?
First of all, it's amazing that he's admitting that the Occupy Wall Street people, after Bill O'Reilly last week declared them dead, that they're having an amazing impact, and he's afraid of them. So at least he's admitting, like all those, see what Sean Hannity does and what Bill O'Reilly does and what all those other people do is a manifestation of their fear. But what he's doing is just saying, hey, I'm afraid of these guys.
Yeah, admitting the fear.
They're actually winning, and I'm going to admit it, and here's how I'm going to beat them. I'm going to switch the words around. I'm going to switch the words around. So let's play this back again, and we'll break it down. Ready?
I'm so scared of this anti-Wall Street effort.
And I know you can't see the video clip, but if you looked at his face, he is scared. I mean, I haven't seen that look on Frank Luntz's face since his old fraternity started accepting minorities. Or that time the pizza guy forgot that extra crazy bread. Because he's kind of a tubby. I don't know if you noticed. Frank's been putting the weight on lately. He's really let himself go. He's making Newt Gingrich look in shape. You got to watch out. Okay, so here, we'll play a little bit more of that.
I'm frightened to death.
Yeah, more like fattened to death. Okay. Am I right? Come on.
That's why he's eating so much. He's scared.
That's right. He's giving Chris Christie. He's in that camp. You know what I mean? If you ever need an example of fear mongering, this is it. I'm big, fat, rich, tough guy with so many Fortune 500 connections. I never need fear anything again. But even I'm afraid of these scary Occupy Wall Street people, which means that all you, the common man, should also be more frightened. That's what he's saying. That's what he's basically saying. Okay, let's go back to the clip.
Okay, they should occupy a job and take a bath. I get that joke.
Yes, he gets that joke because it's an ad hominem attack that dismisses an entire nationwide movement, right? In less than one sentence. And you might say, hey, you just called him a fat guy. Yes, but that's because I was dismissing him as a human being, not his argument. Okay, that's different.
Good point.
Good distinction.
But to be fair, his argument does come from a big fat fatty. Okay.
A pasty white fatty.
Seriously, I'm pretty sure he heard that joke at a Republican rib breakfast, okay?
Gingrich said that. Go to the bathroom and take a bath.
It might have been nice if between helpings at the mashed potato bar, he said to one of his cronies, hey, that joke is ironic because maybe if we hadn't wiped out all those jobs along with the trillions of dollars, there wouldn't be an actual Occupy movement. Man, that joke has so many layers, just like that taco dip. Okay, let's go back to the clip, play a little bit more.
But man, they're having an impact on what the American people think of capitalism. And so I'm trying to get that word removed and replace it with either economic freedom or free market.
Yeah, no, they're not having an effect on how people think about capitalism. I'm pretty sure capitalism did that all by itself recently, right? What the protesters are doing, they're just engendering that dissatisfaction by standing in places, just standing there. Mm-hmm. How dare they? How dare they?
And not taking a bath.
You know, and him saying that they're having an impact on what the American people think of capitalism, so he's trying hard to get that word replaced with either economic freedom or free market. So it's not capitalism anymore. It's economic freedom, Robert.
Sure, I feel free.
Who made him in charge of getting rid of the word capitalism or getting rid of any word? I don't understand that.
Well, because then the people, everybody on the right wing, will start repeating it. So then it gets into, then the media starts repeating it, and then it just becomes part of our lexicon, like enhanced interrogation techniques, which it's really torture.
Right.
There's no such term as enhanced. They just made that up. So that's another one of those things, right?
It's sanitizing
freedom
the
fries.
Yeah, free. Yeah. So that would be a perfect example of that Orwellian kind of speak.
Yeah.
They're trying to rename capitalism so it won't have any negative connotations. Hey, that's not too Orwellian, is it? Why don't we also put rat cage masks on the faces of our political enemies while we're at it? You ever notice that it's never a good thing that needs to be renamed, right?
Right.
No one's looking for a less loaded term for puppies. Okay, and yet jackwads like this have made a good living throughout the 20th century, sanitizing the language by renaming bombs anti-personnel devices or prison camps detention centers. And crappy mortgages that should never have been issued become toxic assets. I got to assume Frank Luntz's title at Fox News was recently redesignated from Big Fat Liar to Corpulent Misinformation Manager.